The only,
I-
like, younger, like I have, so they'll be 11 on 11, and then my daughter will be 9, but then I have 18 and 20. So I'm like, really, by that time. Yeah. My son's 30. Are you
My-
not gonna do that?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
I.
heard my wife.
You good? You don't have to ask.
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
So she's turning 30 and so my friends and we go to a restaurant. And then I bought a caterer and we love to travel, so we did it around the world. Every
You know,
spot.
my husband planned a party for me. Like,
And then we also took the cider in the restaurant and I hired a babysitter.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That's, see, that is thinking. Because then so many people are like,
So just stop by, yep. We had macaroni and cheese and a movie in there. Yeah,
so smart.
and the babysitter was thrilled. I paid her like $5 an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
Okay, these ones are very good. I don't know what this purple one is.
I think I'll probably start out here.
Very-
3 minutes.
Like
3 minutes.
It's 3 minutes.
It's the,
Yeah.
everybody just kind of wanders in.
Well, that's like, I don't really want to start, I don't know, too early. If anyone's online, I apologize. We'll get started in about 3 minutes. I'll start at 9:10. I'm sure we'll get done early.
I was honestly unsure of what would happen if we would be here and we would just casually scroll in and I'm 10.
Hey, guys. Who's teaching?
My oldest gold birthday was in seconds. We didn't, wouldn't know the difference. Yeah, then my others were both 30, so it's like.
27.
I was like, what do you do with that? If they're 30, like, is that not my responsibility? So I just said, yeah, I'm not doing that. We're not, just not gonna do it. Set precedent of like, I don't care, I'm there.
No,
Those
you're
are
not.
cool things I do.
You know what, I was gonna say, my kids are also ages, I do all the things for them. And then-
There's a really good book called How Not to Lose Your Kids.
Oh,
Oh, not to lose them?
How Not to Lose Your Kids.
oh, I thought you said ruin.
No, I don't.
Yeah, everybody needs a healthy dose of, like, I don't know. I don't want that. Yeah, it's like, no,
I suppose.
how can we can't be always,
Yeah.
I mean, how dare I turn on my son's Wi-Fi,
Your son has Wi-Fi?
family Wi-Fi. But if he's playing a game and we take the Wi-Fi off to the science, then he's immediate with his response to us. It's so weird.
Oh, yeah.
He'll come downstairs real fast.
Real fast. Okay. So you guys are on page 14-1, I believe.
Yes.
Win the buyer. So we're entering into the new section, I guess is what they call it, which is the transaction. We're gonna talk about winning the buyer. I guess we'll start out really quick. Any questions, thoughts, concerns, ideas? Anything from phone calls yesterday, any lead follow-up, any ahas from your own experience yesterday, any roadblocks yesterday? Or recently? Any? No, nothing? Everything was smooth, everyone got lots of appointments? What was that?
That's when he got 90.
90 appointments?
Yeah.
Almost weekend.
Nice, that's
Get
fantastic.
busy guy, I mean, good luck,
Doug's buying lunch next week,
right?
so. Excellent. Okay, so we're gonna start out here. So we talked about how, now we're gonna be into the transaction. So we've covered becoming the real estate agent experts by of choice by building your value proposition, and we also covered lead generation and lead follow-up. So today we're going to be talking about winning the buyer. So figuring out, actually, I gotta hit the slide button. My apologies. Here we are. So we're gonna be talking about A buyers. So we've talked about those in the past. We've been talking about the A, Bs, and Cs. We're gonna be talking about the A buyers, getting the appointment. Next is preparing for the buyer's consultation, conducting the buyer consultation, and then getting the signed buyer agreement. Then this, later on, we'll do some recap and ahas and so on. Oh, yep. Oh, sorry, yeah, sign-ins in the back.
That might be just.
Oh, I thought that was a phone ring, like a pelican or something, or a. Yeah, okay. So next, we're gonna jump into this next quote. Right off the bat. So the right approach to close for a meeting is the only approach. Just ask for it. So sounds pretty clear, right? Just ask for the close. There's a lot of different ways to close an appointment or to get the appointment. We'll go into that in a little bit here. So we learned about qualifying buyers and why that's important for you and for your buyers. So first, let's talk about A buyers. So what are the type, how would you qualify or how would you describe an A buyer, Scott?
Well, definitely they're, like we talked about, ready, willing, and able, probably had some, maybe even some discussions on the phone. Interested, have some, they're ready to roll,
Yeah.
0 to 3 months, but most of mine are probably, they're ready to go.
Totally. Yeah, possibly pre-approved. Maybe you've been talking to them at soccer games or maybe at church or just a neighbor that, something's going on in life and they're gonna want to move, whether it's a job change or something. So what they had said here is, okay, so you've seen this graphic here. Does anyone recall what it is at all? No, yes, maybe.
Salesman.
So it's the lead generation and database model from the Millionaire Real Estate Agent. So the question here I'm supposed to ask you is, okay, so what did you do to get a qualified buyer? Where would you find one? Or what would you do to get one? Yeah, where would you get an A buyer? It's easier than you think. Open house, perfect. Anything else?
I gotta leave for my morning program.
Wonderful. That's pretty much on a golden plate. Here you go. Yep. Anything else?
You can get leads everywhere.
Leads everywhere. Totally. So you can get leads everywhere. That's a great point. Making sure it's an A buyer. You're gonna be doing follow-up. So figuring out who that A buyer is going to be in the follow-up. So if it is your neighbor or if it's someone at the soccer game that you keep seeing every week, you can follow up with them to see what their time schedule is, whether they're going to be in A, B, or C. We all have those folks that say, oh yeah, I really want to move. And maybe if I find a house with a pool inside and 12 bedrooms and 13 garages and I mean, yeah, a unicorn, exactly. And so there will be, yep, exactly, under $200,000 in Minnesota. Yeah. It's
Wait,
on the
yeah.
list.
Yeah, my grandma had reached out to me at one point
Mhm.
and she's like, yeah, me and my daughter-in-law and her family are looking to get a house in Anoka. We're looking for like at least 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. And we want to keep it under 160. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. I think in 1950, 1965, you could, yeah. So remember that, everyone they might be ready, they might be able, but if they're not willing to meet the right expectations for what they're looking for, they would not be qualified as a buyer.
So if you get a buyer who is unreasonable, like we're talking about, what's your script for bringing them into reality?
Yeah, great question. So essentially, if your buyer is thinking that they can get the world, find a unicorn, whatever it might be. So let's role play that really quick. So thanks so much for giving me a holler. It's been great seeing you at soccer games recently. So you said you were looking for a home. Tell me a little bit more about it. What you're looking for.
So I want to be in Minnetonka off the lake,
Okay,
6 bedrooms,
okay,
4 bathrooms, and a walkout.
Sure, that would be fantastic. I think there are maybe like 3 houses over in that area, right now that are on the market, so that's exciting. When do you think of making the move? Sure, definitely. So are you pre-approved yet?
No, we haven't done that. We just haven't know what we can do.
Got it. What kind of price range are you thinking that you were able to afford?
About 400,000.
About 400. Okay, sounds good. You know, I think it's a little bit light compared to what's on the market right now. I think I have your email. Is it Denise@yahoo.com?
Yep.
Perfect. Can I send you a couple of the listings that are up right now and we can chat about that next time I give you a call on Thursday?
Yeah,
Awesome. So I can send you those, you can take a look at them, and then next time we have a phone call, it's like, oh my goodness, I didn't realize that was $1.5 million. I say, it is, I can always keep my eyes open to see if I can find one that needs a lot of renovation or something that's near a lake. Is there anything that you would be open to compromising on to maybe meet some of your price point? And then if she does no or whatever else, just as she continues to dig her heels in, she'll just move herself down to the ad, you know, back. But,
Sometimes it's okay to walk away.
So
Oh,
that's
it's
that's
totally-
a really good way of having them see the recognition of themselves, that maybe
Yeah.
the price point is not as what they want.
and it might be a little more awkward, if you're sitting in the appointment. Right?
Yeah.
And, you know, if we're sitting in an appointment and you say, you know, these are my unrealistic expectations, and I say, oh, okay, well, let me, and you can pull it up on your computer, or you could say, you know, that sounds like a really great house, I would love to buy one too. But right now, some of the things that are on the market are a little bit, the market's been shifting quite a bit, remember, like, to make it, you don't wanna make them feel dumb. Because they might not actually be understanding the market. They may have not been in the market for 40 years. And so, just recognizing, meeting them halfway and, understanding why they want to move. And maybe you want to move closer to the lake, but it doesn't have to be on the lake. So, again, though, if they're gonna be unreasonable, just be excited to help them out when the time comes and when it makes sense to help out. But yeah, essentially just be there, understand where they're coming from. If they're completely unreasonable, just say, no, I don't think this would be the right fit for me to be able to find what you're looking for. There may be some other folks that would be able to look for something like that off market. And they can go look for wild beasts.
Or send them to somebody usually.
Send it to someone you don't like. Yeah, yes, that's it. I can't wait to get your referrals. So, back onto the script here really quick. One of the things, Scott, you had mentioned that your A buyer is between 0 and maybe 3 months, you had mentioned. Okay, so the script is I'm supposed to tell you a buyer that is ready, willing, and able to do business in the next 10 to 14 days. I don't know who has to do that, but I like, it's going to differ for a lot of people as to how you segment. I know, what is at the Gorman Group, what does your A buyer look like?
It gets 30 days.
30 days? Okay, that makes sense. To be able to make an offer. Correct, okay. Do you guys have any other duration? The 3 months. Okay, sounds good. Okay, so we're gonna look at the 7-step buyer service circle, and that's gonna be page 14.3. I'm gonna skip over this. It is what it is. Okay. So we're gonna cover the buyer's circle here at a high level really quick, and then compare it to what's been covered so far in Ignite is exactly what it says for me to do. So first is lead to appointments, lead generation, and lead follow-up. So we've talked about that quite a bit already. Going out to open houses, making your phone calls, knocking on doors, calling friends, family for referrals, whatever it might be. Number 2, prepare for the buyer's consultation. So this is what we're going to be talking about today. One of the things I'll just mention right off the bat is everyone's buyer's consultation is going to be different. In the beginning, mine was flimsy and terrible and
Bernie.
unconfident. Today, it's just a couple of those things.
Bert and Ernie from Sesame Street.
So we're gonna talk about that today. We're also gonna talk about the buyer's consultation, which is number 3. Number 4 is finding a home. That's gonna be day 16, working with buyers and sellers. Next is the offer and negotiating the contract. That's gonna be day 17 and 18. And then contract to close and then post-close system. So right now, we're gonna be in number 2 and 3. Okay. So we're gonna talk about, I'm supposed to ask you guys about some of your ahas right now, about anything jumping up about buyers. I mean, a lot of this is repetitive. I totally understand. Any,
Sometimes with my buyers too, is I asked any of the objections when we had conversations. It's just not getting pushback there. They might, their timing might be a
But I
little
have to
bit,
get
but
Rusty because I'm
they're ready to
not
roll.
queuing.
yeah, if someone's ready and able, my favorite, my big thing, if you're going to go and get yourself pre-approved,
Forward to Christian.
that's kind of my way of gauging whether someone's interested in buying a home is, I'm going to, and we'll cover this in just a few minutes here, but hey, Scott, great talking to you. It sounds like you're looking for a home. Are you pre-approved yet?
I am.
You are. Oh, perfect. Awesome. Okay, now you're not.
Okay.
So, hey, Scott, are you pre-approved for a home?
Not yet.
Have you taken a look at some of the numbers at all, or have you talked to any mortgage lenders?
I haven't. I
Yeah.
have kind of an idea what I can afford, but I actually haven't.
Totally get it. So what I could do is I could connect you with Brad, my mortgage lender. Would you be interested in, if I shot you an email, would that be helpful?
Yeah, actually, it would.
Okay, awesome. I'll have you guys connect, and then I'll follow up with both you and Brad in like 2 days. I think he's got an application. You just click on it. It's super easy. You can even do it on your phone sometimes.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah,
don't have to get a bunch of paperwork for
no, you will eventually, but does that sound fair? You could do?
Yeah.
Awesome. And then we'll follow up maybe beginning of next week for looking through what kind of a home you're looking for.
Sounds good.
Awesome. You're gonna say something?
Well, I was just curious, like, how you would handle it if he was just like, well, I don't know that I wanna, like, do you explain the benefits of going to a lender or, to get.
Totally. Yeah,
Sometimes I know for my generation, you gotta kind of talk about like a soft or a hard pull of credit too, because people are like, oh, I don't want people paying my credit reports and all that stuff,
Mhm.
so.
Because it's impossible.
Right.
yeah. So if I actually have a buyer right now and they are very hesitant. The buyer's wife is in accounting and finance. And the husband is up here and the wife is in Atlanta. I've never met the wife. And I think she's calling the shots, and I'm realizing this now.
How
So-
did you as a married man just realize that?
Yeah. I know. So I definitely failed on a couple of things that we're gonna go through here today, and it again drives home the reason that we go through as rigorous and as, I mean, you're gonna see some of these slides and you're gonna be like, really, you gotta do all those things? And if you actually do all those things, your life is gonna be a lot easier. And I didn't, so my life is a little tougher, but you are asking essentially if someone doesn't want to get pre-approved or is a little hesitant there. Again, the credit, sometimes it's the credit thing, sometimes they think they know I mean, my friend over at 3M has the same job and he was able to get a house for $700,000. Well, there's a lot there that you and I want to like jump up and say, wait, you're dumb. These are all the reasons. So a lot of times it's just having that conversation and hearing them like, oh, I can totally understand. You would think that I can understand that. One of the things my lender can help you with is getting that pre-approval letter. So if we see a house that you absolutely love, we can get in right away. One of the things that my lender can do is get you pre-approved to the number that fits your income and debt and so on and so forth, and find a healthy number that you feel comfortable in paying every month. Would that make sense? Oh, yeah. So giving them the reason why they should provide and give that value to that, about that lender that you work with. I've also, and I think we're supposed to give more than one lender. So I often give introductions to 2 to 3 lenders, and I say, go out and get yourself a free lunch or coffee and meet with these lenders. They're great people. So then it's not like you're shoving someone, but sometimes you can say, hey, you know, I just had a great transaction though with Brad or with Mike. And a lot of times they'll just go with that person. Okay, so getting the appointment. So we're going to jump back a little bit here. Getting the appointments, converting your, where did my clicker go? Here. So converting your A buyers. Okay, number one is so true. And who hasn't done number one? Right? Like, we're in the business to go out and sell homes and meet people and do this stuff, and then all of a sudden you literally get a lead put right into your hands. And then you go, oh, I had that soccer game today. I'm really on soccer. A score of like, oh, vacation tomorrow. I gotta pack up. I'll get to it this afternoon. I've got, whatever it might be. And those leads are sitting there, they're asking, they're waiting. So really and truly respond right away to lead inquiries. I know some teams have a lead-based system. I don't know if you guys are on Op City at all, or you've heard of that. Anywho, there are contents where essentially like, if you respond to it right away, you get moved.
Isn't that
Correct, yeah. And then we run beyond this. You can ask. I got 1 or 2 buyers last year in the city.
and then it can be kind of studied.
Well, it's like a few percent. Yeah. You guys do a round robin or a start, tiger, round robin, okay? I know I used to be on a team where it was a lead would come in, and if you call right away, or if you claim it and call, you get it. If you don't, it goes to the next person. That's pretty much right. Oh, that's what it is. Okay, yeah. Next is get valid and complete contact information, save it in command, create an opportunity. So if you're using command, using whatever CRM, sync, Pueblo, whatever. Next is determine their motivation to buy so you can speak to it. That's really important as well. Going back to the example that we had with Denise, like she wants to move to the lake on a 17-bedroom, whatever, for $200,000 kind of thing. So what's the motivation? Yeah, totally ish.
All the rooms are outside.
Exactly, conveniently, yeah, they're just stages. So you would want to dive into the motivation as to why do you want to live over there, why do you want that house, why do you want to live in that area, why do you want to live on the lake? Ask inquiring questions. And we'll get into that a little bit more. We'll dive into these. Next is set the appointment time and date for as soon as possible. I'll come back to that later. There's a couple of verbal jujitsu ninja tricks you can do to get the appointment. Okay, so next one. Okay, so you must close the appointment. Don't leave a conversation without asking for the appointment multiple times. The worst thing they can do is to say no. So there are a couple of things you want to do. You want to show the benefits of having that appointment. So here's an example. If spending 30 minutes with me could save you hours and time and thousands of dollars in your home search, would that be a benefit to you? Great, let's meet. Number 2, the take back close, and we'll practice some of these in a minute or two. This technique puts the tempting offer in front of the buyer and subtly creates fear that they may not be able to get to it. I've enjoyed talking to you, Scott. To be honest, I don't know whether I can be of help to you or not. However, I'd be honored if we could meet to find out. How about we meet tomorrow? That's actually my least favorite one, to be honest. And the reason I don't like that one, and this is just me, we have taken so much time to talk about how much value we bring.
Yeah.
And then you literally say, I don't know if I could be a help or not, like, I'm going to be a help and I'm here to help, so.
Let's on the take, because
That's the take back one.
I'll do the.
Yeah.
A lot of people tell you they're busy. I'm so busy. It's like, oh, I understand you're busy.
Yeah.
Maybe this isn't a good time. Maybe we can meet next quarter.
Yeah.
Sometimes, well, they'll come around a
Yep.
little bit.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. So, number 3 is the negative positive close. This is, this is a way of backing into the appointment close. Would you be offended if I asked if we could meet to go over all of this in a little more detail? I'm free tomorrow. What time works for you? So it's the, would you be offended? Would it really, no? And then you come back to the positive. Number 4, give them what they're looking for. So this is where you bring a little bit more value. It's kind of the cherry on top or just that little extra bait, if you will. I hate to use that word. Okay, yes, let's meet at our apartment. Don't meet people at their apartment or at your apartment. Okay. Let's meet at my office and I can give you the specific details about that property and let you know about similar properties that are for sale. What time works for you? Great. See you then. So, that's gonna be all about bringing a little extra value. It's saying, okay, fantastic. Let's see what my next slide is. Okay, that's talking about, Scott, you had asked about, a home over in Wayzata area. You know, I'd love to meet with you tomorrow. I've got a couple of pamphlets. I used to be on the Wayzata Chamber of Commerce. Could we meet and I could show you those on things to do and places to go in Wayzata? Would that work? You're bringing value, right? Sorry,
Right.
Whatever it might be. A lot of times it's a comparison, market analysis for a couple of the houses. I mean, most of the time it's gonna be a house. You know, it's going to be, hey, I just sent out a text message the other day to somebody I haven't talked to in a while. And I said, hey, I just saw a really cool condo in St. Paul. When could we meet? I'd love to show you a little bit more info on that one and a couple others. I pretty much verbatim what we said here. And so he took that and said, oh, I'm open on Tuesday to go take a look. So it gives me an opportunity to go and show an appointment.
Even, you made me think of, give them what they're looking for. Have you ever met somebody first time at a house? Showing it.
Not that I can think of. Not that I can think of.
When it was crazy, I did that a couple of times. Actually, one of them worked out.
Maybe a couple leads, I suppose, that came in or something. I think there's one gal that from Op City, actually. That I was talking to you about. I think I met her at a house. Because she had inquired on that house. And then the way that Op City works is you're supposed to talk to them and then meet and show them the house, and you have to track your progress. So I think that's probably the only one that I've done that with. Number 7 are tie downs. If anyone's taken bold, you're gonna learn about tie downs. It's a verbal jujitsu per se. Tie downs are phrases that ask for confirmation, expressions like, wouldn't that be great? Can't you? Isn't it? Wouldn't you? So you're getting them into a pattern of saying yes. Let's see. So we'll save hours on your search if we meet at our office first. Saving time is important to you, isn't it? Isn't it? That's your tie down. Great. Let's meet. Any of those that resonate with you guys that you guys find yourself using more often?
It's interesting how the tie downs help. You know, you kind of, does this help? Does this make sense? You kind of.
Yeah. Oh, they totally are. They're. Yes. My little tangent is, I mean, it's like asking for a date. You know, you want to go out there, you're trying to convince someone to go out to lunch with you or to do something. It's selling yourself on a date, you know, if you're trying to get someone to go on a date with you, or you're selling to get an appointment to sit down. You have to have some sort of a reason, whether it's the showing the benefits, you know, bringing something to the table, negative, positive close, all of those kinds of things. So buyers' objections to the appointment. Right off the bat, we're just gonna jump into like, what are some of the objections that you guys hear to getting an appointment?
Busy, real busy.
Real busy. Okay.
Yeah, like,
Yep. Okay. Any objections? What kind of objections have you heard
For meeting,
for getting an appointment? Like you're trying to get that buyer's appointment.
I can't get people to make an appointment, but let's go look at houses right away, and we'll talk about it there, so I guess it's the busy.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a busy, or they're asking for something specifically. Some of that is, and if you're, I shouldn't say that, like, it's not Ignite, whatever. But yes, you could do that. You could also slip in like, hey, could we meet 15 minutes before at a central location, what be it a coffee shop or whatnot, to just run through the buyer's agreements and so on and so
We've
forth.
done that outside the house. That's what they
Okay.
agreed to. So-
Yeah. And it's tying,
Before we go in, we have to look at this. But.
Yep.
we need to have-
definitely. Any other objections that you guys have gotten?
For me, I meet them at the house and then talk about the paperwork and then send it to them. I don't agree with the in person.
Okay.
It's easier to electronically do it. And I would say, I'm willing to show you one without signing a contract, just so we can kind of, we'll see how it goes and you can show me what you want and we can have a face-to-face discussion.
Yeah, I do that a lot. I wasn't gonna mention it right away because it goes against half the stuff I'm teaching. But, I mean, I do often say, you know, to that person at the soccer game or to the person that from church, you know, hey, it sounds like you're really interested in looking at some houses and you sent me 123 Banana Street. Say, I always do this with all of my friends and family and people that I know, like, and trust, and they'll like and trust me. Let's go take a look at a house and make sure that the way that I show houses meets what you like. And they usually don't say no. They want to see the house. And then after that, then I jump into a little bit more of the buyer's consult, which. Am I wasting some time? Yes. Am I building a relationship? Yes. So,
Well, how does this work with like trying to compare?
yeah, they may not even be approved. It might be, yeah, it might be just like, hey, and you can be a little more picky with your time. You know, if it's someone from church, whatever. You can say, hey, I've got Saturday at 3 wide open. I'd be willing to go and take a look. It would give us an opportunity to really understand how we could work together. Plus, we want to see 1, 2, 3 plans. So let's go take a look.
So that can also motivate them.
That actually happened to me in the last week, yeah, like he hadn't got pre-approved yet, we did one, now he had 3 scheduled for yesterday, he called me, he's like, I haven't got my pre-approval done, I always spoke of our times, he said I needed to have that, so can we reschedule, and I was like, absolutely.
So, and that brings up another thing. If you're going to do that, make sure you have a plan then, that's how you're going to get that. You're not going to just string you along and then find another agent. Secondly, be confident in that plan, which we're going to talk about after you set the appointment, so you can get into the things that we need to get done. The busy objection. I get it all the time too. Oh, well, I'm kind of busy. I don't know if I really have time to meet, something like that. And then you go back and you start asking questions. So we're gonna go through that in here. I like to ask, okay, so you're interested in that house, and a lot of times that's the carrot. What house is it that you're interested in? You know, tell me more about what you love about that house. So first thing that we're gonna look at is essentially it comes down to asking questions. So investigate deeper. Tell me more about that. Help me understand. Number 2 is empathize. I certainly understand how you feel. I apologize. I don't remember what page we're on right now.
14
14.6, just in case you're following. Number 3 is identify the real issue, restate what you heard, and ask for confirmation. So Scott, it sounds like you're really busy at work. Tell me, are you working on some big projects?
Yeah, I got some clients coming in town next week, and get prepared for that.
Oh, sure. Gotcha. I could totally understand that. So it sounds like you're super busy with some clients and so on. If we took maybe 20 or 30 minutes on Friday, would that work for you to sit down over coffee?
Possibly if it's early.
Okay, great. I've got a 9 o'clock and an 11 o'clock on that day.
You know what? I think I could do that.
9? Okay, awesome. And I'll meet a little bit closer to your work. Does that help?
Well, that helps.
Perfect. Let's do that. We'll meet at your office in the coffee shop. So it's asking questions, empathizing. So these are all, you're gonna do all of these most likely in one conversation. So when people tell you no, I don't like this. It sounds awkward and kind of weird, but it's not that they're actually saying no. There's some reason and we have to find that out. And sometimes it is a no, like, no, I'm out, I'm done. I don't want to do this. It's not the right time. And that's cool. And that's totally fine. You know, no means no. So, but there's also an understanding that, okay, well, tell me more about that. Tell me why. I could understand that. We can offer the solution. Meeting closer to your home, making it a 20-minute meeting. My favorite number to use is 20 minutes. Because a lot of people, if you say half an hour, people think an hour. If you say a couple of minutes, they're gonna be mad at you when you go longer. So 20 minutes is something that people can say, oh, well, I could do 20 minutes at a coffee shop, or you could come to my office for 20 minutes. I can usually get through most of the stuff. So I like 20 minutes. And at that point, they're usually into it and chatting with you. It gives you enough time to build that rapport, so on and so forth, that if you go beyond 20 minutes, it's okay. Next is urge an agreement, ask for the appointment again. So just like I did, I kept asking, you know, would this work? Would it make it easier if we did this? Okay. Oops. Oh, they put 2 slides in there. Okay. Any ahas so far?
I love your 20 minutes. Because
Okay.
it's hard to disagree with that being unreasonable.
Yeah, 24 hours.
Yeah. What I want you guys to do, I wrote some notes for myself. How about we take 5 minutes and practice objections with each other, with a partner, trying to set an appointment. Try to set an appointment and use some of your tie downs, trial closes, assumptive close. Do you guys have that in the book? My apologies.
We have the actual, like, what they are, like, the names of them, we don't have like a
Oh, where's that?
14.5.
You want me to go over what those are again?
Yeah.
Okay. We do that here. So we're gonna be back on page 14.5. Okay, so show the benefits. In general, people are more likely to go along with you with something you suggest if you explain the benefit to them. So if spending 30 minutes with me could save you hours of time and thousands of dollars in your home search, would that be of benefit to you? Great. Number 2 is the take back flows. I've enjoyed talking with you. To be honest, I don't know whether I can be of help to you or not. However, I'd be honored if we could meet to find out. How about we meet tomorrow? Number 3 is the negative positive close. This is a way of taking, of backing into the appointment. Would you be offended if I asked if we could meet to go over all of this in a little more detail? I'm free tomorrow. What time works for you? I don't like it because there's too many ifs. And it's a very flimsy and non-confident way to ask.
I was gonna say, I don't like the, would you be offended?
Would you be offended? It's kind of like, imagine if you were asking for a date. Would you be offended if we maybe kind of possibly went out for either a lunch or maybe a dinner
It's
sometime?
starting with a negative.
Yeah.
Wanna leave with a positive.
Yeah, it just. you're not gonna-
It's like people coming up to you and so don't be mad.
It would. It would, yeah, their first answer.
Yeah, say that, but,
Stay, yeah.
yeah, as soon as you say not to be, but, everything goes.
Yeah.
Could you use like a little bit of the take back could still be like negative?
Yeah.
Maybe now is not the right time for you.
Yeah, I'm sure you're super busy. Or I know we're
Yeah.
all really busy right now with quarter end. Like, you may not even have quarter end in your business. But I could say, I could understand that you're probably busy with quarter end. But I wanted to see if we could sit down for about 20 minutes and go through some of the specifics that you want to know. Would tomorrow work? Or Thursday? I have Thursday open too. Okay, number 4, give them what they're looking for. Yes, let's meet at my office. I can give you the specific details about that property and let you know about similar properties also for sale. Trial close. Then you see how receiving a list of all the new homes on the market, your price range would help you in your home search. Great. Yeah, can you see, and you see how it's even, yeah, or maybe that is. Number 6 is the assumption close. It sounds like we should be. I'm available most times this week. So what works best for you? Number 6 is very much how I write a lot of my emails. I don't ever ask people out for lunch. I say, let's meet for lunch. I have Friday open.
Oh my god.
Like,
I do too.
That's what gentlemen do.
I don't have, let us meet for lunch, or let's meet for lunch. I'd love to learn more about your business. I'd love to share this with you, so you can kind of tie a couple of those things together.
Mike does that too, but he's gonna give him 2 times. So then they feel like they're in control.
Oh, totally, yes, I totally,
Like I have Friday or Tuesday, which one works better for you?
yeah, this is a little bit outside, but one of the things that I also do when I'm doing some cold calls or when I was doing some neighborhood stuff. Where maybe if they didn't seem like they were super on fire to meet with me. I can tell them that I'm booked for the week. And set them out a week and a half. And then I backfill in there. Because if I said to Denise, hey Denise, I actually have an opening in like 20 minutes. Do you want to meet with me? I can meet with you right now. That's very different than saying, oh, Scott, I'd love to meet, book today, tomorrow, I've actually shoot, I can't between my meetings. How does Friday or Monday, first thing Monday, I can make time? Like, it sounds better. Way better. And again, it's kind of like dating.
I want to chase a little bit.
Hey, do you wanna go out for dinner like tonight? I could go out tonight, I have nothing to do.
Do in your life.
Exactly,
And-
yes, or I'm super anxious, exactly. Oh, yeah, you know, I'm totally,
Last minute dropped in on either.
yeah,
Last minute doesn't. start.
yeah, exactly.
Unless you're
So,
fun.
totally. And I've done that before, I've said, like, hey, you know, Scott, I did have a cancellation tonight. If that happens to work for you, but if it doesn't work, that's totally fine, no worries. I do have this upcoming Friday. So you can backfill your calendar or front fill your calendar and not sound like a freak. Commission, yeah. And then the last one, I think number 7 we're on, which is the tie downs. That's the wouldn't it be great, wouldn't you? We'll say save hours on your home search if we meet at the office first. Saving time is important to you, okay? Great, let's go. So if you guys want to take about 5 minutes and try to set some appointments with each other. And then give some objections or not give objections, rather than just take the appointment right away. So, let's take about 5 minutes. It's I don't know. 5 minutes. We'll take until about 10 o'clock and then we'll take a break after that.
See that house is set.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree. I'm hard. Right now. Yeah. I think. That's.
One of the things I did.
I like to get back to that. Tomorrow's good.
Now, so it's a trip. And you,
Yeah.
People that I just like. Yeah. I've seen in church, like,
What happened?
Yeah, but I have just,
And I had enough. Yeah, so he had a and like. Yeah. You know what I mean, like. Yeah.
What we know is. I'm not good. Let's be the meeting.
This is.
And sometimes, you know, I'll stop the walls.
I remember seeing a lot of moves to the, you know. Oh, the girl? Yeah. So. I did see something really like that. I'm really like. They're very, like, dealing with them. Like my clients that are on the community. He's actually gonna go here with her. They're gonna keep the house unit and stuff around because they don't speak. That would be one.
I have it.
Yeah.
We're talking about. Still one of the. Is like. I know someone like that. Giving me all the items. Yeah. So, there's actually, I go. I was gonna ask you, would you be okay to do all? Yeah.
For like.
Is it?
You-
Why don't you? Say no. I'm sorry, I said that. Oh, that's okay. In the middle of our. I'm gonna, you'll see,
Consciously, I just. Oh, yeah.
That's right. Bad. Yeah. Yeah, I know. Now, if you guys wanna go take a break, walk around, get some coffee, eat some donuts, and we'll reconvene at 10:10. 10:10. Isn't that sweet? You know, you're the RNG rip off.
Yeah.
I know. I thought, although it's. It's hardly. What you like? I've heard. They're the nice flower and they have.
Yes. Yes, exactly. I haven't figured out yet how.
Everything making sense so far? It's great. I tell you, the ribbon off, getting this one. That was huge. It's, you know, like, people, I've been using for 30 minutes. A 20-minute coffee is very. Even a 20-minute cold conversation. And revision. I liked your examples better than the ones that they had written.
Videos? Oh. Two lights and light. But. How not to. Right. Not your.
The other one next to the eyes.
Oh, yeah, make them uncomfortable. Yeah, so you can make
How many districts was that? Instead of.
I should have set up maybe there, you can just buy this, sort of, yeah.
Pausing.
Brings
it to say, wow.
You just really say, oh, just go.
I was thinking,
Really,
I mean, you could do it. That's not smarter stuff.
Right.
But I was thinking, what you could do. You could do.
They were already ready.
What you could do.
Here's one of these guys, you know. And sometimes it's interesting stuff.
Found out.
Or, you know, I think that's what made it sell. Well, that's so interesting.
Well, cowbell.
But it captures, you know, where sound and.
Yeah.
His wife passed away. I stayed in his house for about 6 months. Decided he didn't-
Yeah, that's one of the games. Perfect. Hard time to go to. I think you're right. Maybe 2 days, then next week. Maybe 2 weeks out. And then-
Not home spot. A lot of money in spirit. Did get one, so I think I.
Yeah.
But he could not get ID. He was so.
Oh, gosh, yes.
I don't think.
Right.
Thanks, Alex.
See?
That's a really good point.
Not.
No, I don't, his wife passed away.
Yeah.
That's right, that's right, another.
He's really.
Yeah, I think so.
He goes to network.
Yeah.
He doesn't do
This guy. He runs. One side of his house.
Good, we're good.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, two of them, I know.
Oh, I'm school, we had.
All right, let's go. Well, behind them, I got. They were. Yeah, I mean.
The least three,
Sure. There, I mean. Yeah. It's about right. Because of our style. Okay. I kind of think so, just so you like, switch your hair, put it up right here. Right. Yeah. Oh my God. I was.
picture. Okay. Nice.
It's been several years, but there's maybe like 9 houses
She's like,
that have been developed. It's like a big.
it's like an all about silver.
And he's gorgeous.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where I live.
It's like, you let the drone. I know. She's like.
I guess I'll. Because it'd be nice.
Yeah.
No, I want to get it saved.
But.
So I got both. Because.
Right.
These were
Like.
here. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And it's my. Like, so they're on.
Is there some vendors out there? Have you made a relationship?
No.
Is there like lots?
Oh, yeah, aren't they?
See if you can.
There's a bunch of.
My daughter got.
Are they?
And so.
See.
Fingers, like.
Yeah, I would seriously call,
Right.
give them a call, say, hey, I never, you know,
Yeah.
realtor here.
So I
I've
love
seen
it.
there's lots. They go, you tell me more.
Right.
You know, so I want to tell them, I went to the other question. I was interested in.
And there are bunch of videos.
So that means any. Or is it you? Yeah, on this thing, I can tell you around. Here.
That.
Yeah.
Have a realtor that's. Works just fine.
Yeah, that's how I.
I still keep turning back around and. I
was actually
Right.
first. Yeah, that'd be a great.
Yeah, that's
right. Yeah, so one there.
Yeah.
You might have to just,
You know.
just say. I might have, we're interested in this, you know, please, you know, because.
So weird. Side.
So anyway, that's how I met her.
What's going on in the. You go, oh, yeah, that's so and so building.
Right. It just fell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just like, the more I think about. Maybe some kids. At least try my hardest.
Like on your walk shame home, you stop it.
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, just talk to.
That one wasn't very good.
That's right. That's Oh, keep going, there's better ones.
Oh, is it?
Okay, good morning. I think it's 10, 10, 11, 10. I'll be back. No worries, I used to watch out for half an hour. All good. Okay, so we're gonna jump back in, right away here. I'm gonna insert the ahas. So you guys did some, appointment settings / projections, any thoughts, concerns, ideas, questions? Awesome. Everyone got their. Okay, so now we're gonna jump into preparing for the buyer consultation. So to get a buyer's agreement, first you need to get the appointment. Once you make the appointment, so right at the end of your phone call, you're going to want to, of course, say, you want to confirm everything. So confirm your day and time of the appointment and the location. So two things here. First, I'm gonna go backwards. So confirm the location. So Scott had mentioned meeting at the, at the home, at the house. Make sure that they have that. I like to use calendar invites. That's another good way of getting their email address right off the bat. So send a calendar invite. And then it would say your name, their name, address in the subject line. And then underneath in the address, if you're using Gmail, put in the address of the home that you're going to be meeting at. And then on the bottom where it says notes, make sure you type in, can't wait to see you something or another, right? Now, this program, whatever, is best taught to be, just come to the office for a buyer's consult. It's more professional. It shows that you are a professional, you are a real estate agent. You don't meet your doctor at the park. You don't meet your dentist at a coffee shop. They have a place of employment as professionals, and we do as well. Now, it might be intimidating for you thinking like, oh, I don't know, I don't know what to do once they're here, that kind of thing. But you're gonna feel a little bit better when you're at your home turf. So, couple other things about that. Oh, when you're confirming, I already went over that. That's right. Right before the appointment, one of the things that you can do is if you have an appointment in like 3 days, the morning of, you could sometimes send a text message that says, see you this afternoon or see you in an hour. I've done that too. See you in an hour. Let me know. Don't even open the door. So don't open the door any way that they can get out of it. Don't invite the invite to get out. But confirm, just so there's no issues. Just confirm, like, I would send a text to Stephanie, see you in 1 hour. Over at the office and then text you the address. So then you got it.
We did that for clothing.
Oh, do you?
Amazing how the next other person like where we billing.
Oh, totally. There's so many emails.
Yeah.
So confirm the appointment, but don't ever call and say, hey, are we still on for Tuesday? Nope, not anymore, because I don't want to go. I found something better for you. Now, of course, not everyone's going to say no, but it very much opens the door for them to
You don't have an option.
kick the can down the road. Okay, so when we, okay, so buyer consultation preparation checklist. One of the things I want to go over really quick is everyone's is going to be a little bit different. And I'll apologize ahead of time. I don't follow 3/4 of this stuff because this is a very specifically tuned buyer's guide. Some of the things I bring to the table, some of them I don't. I'm sure the Gorman table brings half of them. I'm sure the Vaz Harwood brings 3/4 of it, whatever it might be, and in a different order. So if you're thrown off by watching all of this and overwhelmed, understand that you can customize it to how you want. One of the things that I talk about right away when I'm setting an appointment or working with a client, and it's in my value proposition, which is I'm Nick Moucha from Simple Real Estate. I make real estate simple. I'm not gonna sit here and bore you for 2 hours having a listing appointment or very buyers. If it happens to be 2 hours, and so that's cool. But the process and my method is very quick, very simple, it's very concise. So, however you want to do it is totally fine. This is just one of the methods that they're gonna teach you in this course they call Ignite. So. So the first thing we just talked about, confirm the appointment date and time. Next is the location. The next number 3, as I had mentioned earlier, how I failed on getting all of the through. Oh, there we go. We're good. Thought it just left. Ensure all the decision makers attend. Again, just when you're on the phone, just ask. hey, is there anybody else that's going to be, moving with you guys or like to have a meeting? Or, because sometimes maybe it's an adult kid that's with that, that they want to be at there, that would be a benefit, yeah. At the appointments, maybe it's a grandparent or sometimes in generational homes, it's good to have everyone there. Next is complete your buyer guide. So, there's a whole buyer guide. We're gonna go into that in a few minutes here. Next, prepare the meeting space. If you're at a coffee shop, you're at a coffee shop, there's not a whole lot to do. It is what it is. We have a bunch of rooms here on the side that you can check out and use. I like to use the conference room right next to here. It gives you a little more space. You're not on top of each other. It's kind of like, they're a little bit small over there. If you have the opportunity to set up at the conference room here next door to Captain's room, I would use that. Jana is always open to grabbing a bottle of water for somebody, offer coffee, get that stuff ready. Make sure you have your pens, any buyer's presentation, any other, if you guys give a gift away, whatever it might be, prepare the meeting space. Okay, so the top 10 service areas of the buyer's value proposition. So the needs analysis, we talked about, like, what is it that you're looking for? I apologize, we're probably on page, I think we're on 14.7. Yeah. 14.7,
Yeah.
14, yeah.
Yeah.
Pre-qualified, pre-approved, sometimes you have to tell them what the difference is. Talk about that. Neighborhood information, home search. You're gonna talk about, you're gonna be making an offer, you're gonna negotiate that offer. Vendor coordination, whether it be your home inspectors or appraisers, can't really pick your appraiser anymore. Any contractors that you may have, bring those kinds of things up. If there's anything that comes up that you can help with. Oh, radon mitigation, that's another one that you can bring up. Because there's a lot of issues. Pre-close preparation, closing and post-close. So those are the service areas and the things that we bring value to. So make sure that when you're sitting down, you're gonna bring value to that. Okay, so the buyer's guide contents. So I'm supposed to ask, looking at this list, what does it do for your buyers? What does it give them? And what does it provide them value? Okay,
That's the expectation.
that's a great point. It does set an expectation. It sets an expectation that you're going to go through these things, that you're bringing value. As I had mentioned, not everybody's presentation is going to be the same. There's actually, do you guys have 20? This slide isn't correct. Do you guys have this in your book?
No.
Okay, so long story short, they have 30 different things. It goes down to 14 here, but there's another 20 more things that they talk about that could be in your in your book. So we'll go through those in a few minutes here. So who has a buyer's presentation that you use regularly? You do?
Yeah, I'm gonna have a buyer deck and color deck, so.
Okay.
Basically a slideshow. of each one. They need some updates.
Sure.
From the offices, but.
Okay.
They work out really well when we've got packets. We have a buy sell guide.
Okay.
That we give them physically after the presentation or the.
So like a PDF of the presentation?
It's a more in-depth look at it. The presentation is more of an overview.
Okay,
And then they can dive in a little bit deeper on the certain topics that they wanted more information on, and then they ask questions afterwards.
gotcha. Denise, what do you use? What was that? PowerPoint deck. Perfect. Perfect. Were some of the things that you see up here on yours, in yours?
Yeah, I don't, I like some of the things, I like the interest rate chart of what we can do. But I have a timeline. I have a little bit about the search.
Okay. Very good. Do you guys use what Amy uses one, I assume, or?
Find your.
Okay. Three at a time.
So if they wanted to buy a rental, if they wanted to buy relative's house, if they wanted to buy. So we kind of, we give them all these different things and say Amy can represent them. But sometimes they're like, oh, well, we wanted this. So you kind of just, yeah, like all the different services that we have. If you wanted to buy like in Florida, well.
Anybody else have a guide or
I
presentation?
am given older, yeah.
Okay. Very cool. So again, I'm gonna go through what they want me to go through. But it's really how you. The way that you're bringing value, like this doesn't bring value to anybody because I don't even know how to use it. Simply, the KW app. I don't use it. I use the Home Spotter app, which I talk about. So, different options, different styles. Okay, so, we're gonna jump to. So the buyer's guide, you can get these. Okay, so if you're a new agent and you're looking for a process and you're looking for something, this is what this course kind of is built for, is some of the newer agents that are looking for something. Like you don't have anything, you don't know where to start. I totally get it. That's where I was. And instead of sitting in your office for the next 1 year trying to figure out something and build the whole thing by yourself, there is a buyer's guide in Command and it is totally customizable. Okay, perfect. And there's several other options. I think Listing Police has one. It's a free one. And then Tom Ferry, I think, has one as well, which is kind of a nice one to use.
There's other.
Oh, Canva. Oh, yeah. 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 And then you can insert your logo and stuff.
Some of that stuff, the list before, it's just so much, it's overwhelming to people, so I think less is more, so I try to define it. If you give them too much, they don't look at it, they just throw it in the backseat.
Agreed. I totally understandable. And I agree with that. And not disagreeing with your point. Sometimes I give the information at the end, like they can have some of the information, like that interest rate thing or other listings that we didn't even talk about. I can give them a couple of sheets of listings. You know, we didn't talk about these, but I wanted to throw them in with you. Part of it is also understanding your buyer. If your buyer is an analytical person, they're going to want to sit and read and understand a lot of those things.
We were considering a two-step. Now that you've looked at your first home, here's support.
Yep, yeah, definitely. And again, it's all customizable, what you do. So we're gonna run through this fairly quickly. I'm gonna kind of deviate a little bit from what they want me to teach, but I'm just gonna go over this with you guys and we can talk a little bit more about your own buyers guides. And then the most important thing is at the end, which is getting the signatures and getting that agreement. So let's run through this really quick. In the buyer's guide that they have on the KW Command, your needs come first. This sets the expectation of what it is that you're doing for them and what you expect of them. This is where you're going to set the tone of your relationship. I'm the agent. I'm super excited to help you. I've been working with Keller Williams for X amount of days, years, months, whatever it might be. Our team has been in the industry for X amount of years, months, whatever. We've been in this area, in the Woodbury area for X amount of days, years, months, etc. So, next, we're going to look at the building your preference profile. So what is it that we're going to revisit some of those things. Maybe you had a conversation a little bit at the soccer game or wherever it is, like, Denise, you had mentioned you wanted those 6 bedrooms and the lake house and stuff. I'm so glad we can sit down. Did you have a chance to look at a couple of those listings I sent you?
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I wanted to revisit what some of your preferences are. What are you looking for in a home? Has anything shifted since we last talked?
well, looks like I can't afford what I'd like.
Yeah, definitely. But it sounds like being near the lake is really important to you.
Right.
Awesome. And then so you can go through that buyer's preference, what is it that you're looking for in that? One of the things I would stress, whether you have something in your head and you just run through it, or whether you have a guide that they're talking about here, take as many notes as you can when you're chatting with them, even if it's just the smallest things, and let them talk. So it's asking questions, letting them talk. Gosh, I think it was maybe the second day of Ignite or something. One of the phrases I really liked is, what does that mean to you? So I think it was about kitchen light or
Yeah,
light.
it was the light,
I don't remember who it was.
light, the light,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Lots of light.
Yeah,
Who was
lots
it?
of
Who
light
was
in the
that?
kitchen.
Gosh, I can't remember. Oh, well. Who was teaching that day? I can't remember.
Was, Lisa Bo?
Lisa Bell, yes,
Day two?
sounds right.
Yeah, day two.
So one of the things that I really. Oh, maybe it was.
I think
It could have been.
Yeah,
But anyway, I mean, the biggest thing is just asking questions. What does that mean to you? You want to be near the lake. What does that mean to you? How, like, the mile? Good, how close is close to you?
Close enough where it's easy to.
Okay, so what, what kind of book you have?
We got a lot.
Oh, okay. Do you need a certain type of, doc or something to put that in?
No, we can just put it in with ourselves.
Oh, okay. So anything within like a mile of the boat launch?
Yeah.
Or two?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, she's probably.
Got it, perfect. So asking more questions, understanding, and you can deviate to be personal, Like, what kind of boat is it, and you could take a couple minutes to talk about that. That's where, a super concise, fast, quick buyer's consultation could be 20 minutes, like I mentioned. You could do it 20 minutes. Might not get many personal pieces of information, but you can have, I mean, some of you guys have probably had a 2-hour buyer consultation.
That's my.
Yeah.
I think you're, like, set aside an hour and a half, 2 hours, if you're gonna have questions.
Yeah, exactly. And so if you get them to talk, you're going to get more information and take all of those notes. Again, buyer's wish list. So these are some of the other questions that you could ask while going through it. Beyond your first 5 top needs, is there anything else that you really need? Again, we've been over this and prior classes have talked about this. Next thing is the neighborhood insights. There's neighborhood snap from KW that you can get. So if they're already talking about a certain neighborhood or two, you can maybe have that prepared. If not, you can tell them that you could send that later. And again, make a note and then do it. Don't say you will and then not, because then you look stupid. Anybody else use something different other than this, or do you guys bring anything? I know. What's the thing on the bottom of our MLS that you can get reports?
I use RPR.
So RPR is good. There's another one. InfoSmart, thank you. That's a good one as well for just statistics. Again, the area. And you can even say like in the South Metro, is there?
so this is something different from KU.
No, this isn't the KW, it's in the templates.
Oh,
It's, yeah, neighborhood snap. So this is something you could bring to the presentation.
Is this consent for the neighborhood nurture?
I believe so. I could be wrong, but I
It's different.
think,
No,
oh, is this different?
Yeah.
Same info though? Different,
yeah, it's just laid out differently.
Laid out.
It's like, hey, this is specific to their neighborhood, so it'll be like, hey.
Got it.
you live in whatever, the Phelan area, East St. Paul, here's what's going on there, here's your average rent raise or something sold recently.
so, one of the next slide here is talking about, and I apologize, I haven't been following where we're at here. Probably on page. Oh, they're really fast. I guess we're on 1411. 14.11.
Oh, and the needs zone.
Needs analysis, yeah, this is talking about the presentation, they have nothing in the book, I apologize for that. It's not my fault, so I'm bad.
That's what I.
Minnesotan there, don't you know? So, okay, so the next thing that I want to talk about is the home buying process. This is where I have felt a little bit unconfident. What is that called? Not confident? Squirrely, something or another. So I've got my understanding of how I work, but when you're in a, I want to say the position of power, but like you are the real estate agent. That's one thing that sometimes you might get a little bit scared of, because maybe they're older, maybe they bought 15 houses before. Maybe it's your boss or your old job, whatever it might be. This is where I have felt unconfident, but I've also found confidence in saying, this is my process and this is what I do. So some of those flow charts help out in showing this is how I can help. This is what I'm going to do. And again, do what you say you're gonna do. So on the KW buyer's guide, if you need something to use, you can pull this, which is number 1, partner with an agent. Number 2, get pre-approved. Number 3, find your home, make your number 4, make your offer, negotiate. We just went over all of this. Under contract, number 5, 6, before you close. These are some of the things that we want to talk about. Number 7, closing day, what to bring. And then number 8 is closing day. Very generic, very easy, but it covers everything we need to cover. So home loans, they want me to talk about Keller Mortgage. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Keller Mortgage. I tried using them myself
You did?
and they were okay.
If you find one that you like, you can have them as your preferred lenders. We've had 2 others.
Less than,
So we use Mike Busker, and so he's our preferred one, so now every single time we submit someone to Keller Mortgage, they always,
okay.
so then you just like find 50.
It does save them. I'm not gonna go into it, I don't think. Yeah, I'm not gonna go into it. It's
So
like,
you save a ton of money.
you can save a ton of money, yeah.
Yeah, so we have them go to someone local, so we'll put like that on here, or like, something, or their credit union or whatever. And then we say, go to Keller Mortgage, and then take the 2 quotes, and then compare them side by side with each other. So that way you're like, you're not going over that kind of like.
So out of curiosity for you, other than doing it from, but how many times do you run into people like that go through costs?
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
We had someone go through.
That's what I do. My parents actually did.
Oh, yeah, vacation and stuff, and they actually
they
have
have
both mortgages. Fun story, Costco sells most cars.
I was gonna say, I bought my car through Costco. Yeah, because they give you the lowest discount, even then.
Yeah.
Than the dealership. They give me. Yeah.
I'm gonna look into that. Costco mortgage.
You get a.
Used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, if someone comes in with their own, that's totally cool.
Yeah.
They just want me to tell you that you can go to Keller Mortgage. You can definitely save a lot of money. I think one of the key things that you would hit the nail on the head is make sure you know the mortgage lender on the other side, because working with the right person there is huge. Makes the process.
So
go
you're
on.
not being super local, like mortgage, like other lands, like mortgage. Lenders that are local, you know, like how to use that.
We use Keller Mortgage and like $18, and then we liked money, and then we used it again. Then we got this other person who was there, and then there. And then we were like, how, and then we attended more of these Keller Mortgage classes, and they're like, you could say you're preferred, and we're like, thank God. And then we just like, when we logged into Keller Mortgage online, and then we had him as a preferred. And then how it's like an easy way that you can also send money, probably do with anyone else. And how are they saving money? What are they saving money? They have like different fees that they don't have to pay. Like,
Yeah.
like up to
And you can get money back too.
Yeah.
Like, there's some
Really?
crazy
There's some
stuff.
really like interesting things that they. they paid for our fees, they get more than a lot of them. So that's how we always say, take both of the, both, like, maybe put them side by side to each other, we're like, okay, they don't pay for this fee, there's a fee over here, and so we're like doing side by side with the buyer, and then we're like, this one's it.
Yeah. Next thing here, in the packet that they give you on demand, it talks about the real value, real experience. So this is a lot of times, you can rely on the office numbers. You can rely on your team's numbers. You can rely on your own. If you're newer, you can use any other numbers. I mean, if you wanna, you know, you could bring out other statistics too, in your own slide deck, you know. I typically make, you can even tell people, I make 20 phone calls a day. Or I make 10 phone calls a day to off-market properties. Like that's something that someone could see a value in. So whatever statistics you want to bring something of that nature. In your experience, or you can talk about the years of customer service that you had, or years of negotiation. Sales is, if you say sales, that sounds weird. If you say negotiation, that's. Any ahas so far?
I think the biggest thing with buyers is, being sellers too, but buyers, even more sellers, just listen.
Mhm.
Ask open-ended questions, listen, what they have to say, take notes.
Yep.
If you have this, any important details.
Yeah, totally. Anything else? Any other ahas?
I like the neighborhood snaps, man, I didn't.
I do too, I do.
So we talked a little bit about preparing, which is creating that pamphlet, whatever it is that you have, personalized, customized. I do really like the Canva one. That's how I made my seller's presentation. I think my seller's presentation is 8 slides and that's it. It's a hybrid of an old presentation from KW like in the 90s and a couple of my own slides of just my process. And I like it because again, it's very quick, very concise, and it aligns with my value proposition, which is making real estate simple. So preparing for the consultation, now conducting the consultation. Really quick back step here. Preparing for the consultation is huge. I shared a quote yesterday with Denise that I saw, which is, was it today's procrastination is tomorrow's shit. So whether it's a showing that you're doing, whether it's a presentation or a listing or whatever it might be, that preparation really, I mean, you can pull it off, but it's not going to be fun. It's not going to be easy. You're going to miss out on a couple of things. You're not going to feel great after the presentation. So it is important to have those things ready. And that doesn't include scripting. That includes role playing. That includes all that kind of stuff. So you can feel prepared while conducting the buyer's consultation. So preparation creates that confidence. So you know what you need to say. You've been through your script and such and your presentation. Okay, so I guess if you want to before and they want me to tell you to say this out loud, it's an affirmation. We'll just read it together. If you want to read it with spunk, you can. If you want to read it pretending to be sad, that's cool too. Okay. I am knowledgeable and caring and the best agent for these clients. They will appreciate my expertise and preparation and choose me to represent them. I'm at home. Do that. Yes.
There's a lot of ands in there.
And yeah. So I think a big thing is I don't care what it is that you say. What is that on SNL? I'm smart, I'm beautiful, and gosh darn it, people like me.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah. Yes. So really, it just comes down to being confident, being strong, knowing that you've got the appointment. Like honestly, like, okay, and again, I take it back to dating, right? A little bit, because that's what sales is. Sales is just dating. Close the deal. You know what I'm saying? So if I can get Scott to an appointment, sitting down with me, I kind of have to majorly screw it up for him not to continue on looking for a home with me. He's already knows, likes, and trusts me enough to meet me at my office to sit down and go through the presentation, and for me to show value to him enough that we can go and take a look, and he would trust me with the home purchase. So don't discount yourself and thinking, okay, Scott's here now, I don't know, maybe he's not gonna sign, or I don't know if it's gonna be, just if you can be confident and understanding and know that just Scott showing up is proof in itself that he trusts. He wants to continue. And if for some reason that isn't the case, or for some reason you're not getting that vibe that he's going to trust you, it could be a couple of things. Maybe there is some value that you show, a little bit more value. And maybe he's shopping around for some other people and he's actually not an A or a B, and maybe he's the F client. So just again, be confident to know that you are knowledgeable, you are caring, you're going to be there. And again, see, it even says preparation. So be prepared. So welcome the buyer. One of the things, so we're supposed to role play, and how about we do that for like 5 minutes? We'll role play, beginning a presentation, like saying hello, greeting, sitting down. Let's do that. Actually, I don't like that. I'm sorry. We're
Waiting for that.
yeah. So we're supposed to role play and say essentially, okay, so it's I'll use you, Scott. Okay, Scott, thank you for letting me help you. My goal is to give you a 10+ experience. To do that, I'd like to get a clear idea of what you are looking for in your new home. So with permission, I'd like to spend the next 20 or 30 minutes exploring what the right home would be like for you. We call this your 10+ home. With your permission, I'd like to write a couple of notes as we go along, so I remember everything that's important to you. It may seem like a lot, but I'd rather ask you 500 questions now and show you the right 5 homes than ask you 5 questions now and show you the wrong 500 homes. Does that work for you?
It does.
Yes, excellent. So what I really like about that, I'll tell you what I don't like right away. It's very wordy. I don't love it. But what was that?
Doesn't go with your mom.
Yeah, it's a little bit too long. Now, I will tell you this, if there's anything about scripts, and this is a little off cuff, but memorize your scripts, because if you're newer, or even if you're older in the industry and you've gotten away from your scripts, go back and review them. Like, go back and memorize it, make sure you have them, because if you get thrown for a loop, if someone says something, heck, if they start talking about their dog, in the middle of the conversation, you can come back to that script. It's massively beneficial to have a script in your head. It doesn't mean that you're gonna sound like a robot, it just means that you are planted and you are confident in what you're saying. I'm sure, for your conversation. I really like that 500 questions now to show you the right 5 homes. So this conversation helps the buyer know why it's important to spend that time. So you're showing value right away. They want me to have you guys run through that conversation, but I think that would be useless. Okay. So we're gonna go through, the next thing would be your home wish list. So again, if you've had that conversation like I did with Denise, that she wanted the 16 bedrooms, you didn't really know exactly what you wanted when we had talked.
Chickens.
You want chickens, okay, so you need to have a town that allows chickens, okay, so you're gonna wanna delve into that, get into it a little bit more. This gives you a couple of questions, again, this is from the buyer's guide on KW. You guys have a buyer's intake form, correct?
You have to have a buyer questionnaire form that we send out
Okay.
before the presentation.
Yep.
So you can get some of that information ahead of time.
So then you can review, so you have a little bit of a diving point to jump off of, if you will. And then I think Ross said that he had some pretty good questions that he had ready and available. This, again, you can print this off. If you ran by this book that they have that KW has, you can't really go wrong. The only wrong thing is that your presentation could be 2 hours, and that's not specifically wrong. But it's gonna cover everything. So I do appreciate that as much as I kind of barked on it a little bit. Okay, so I'm supposed to cover this as well. Love letters. Some folks will ask, oh, should we be writing a love letter about this? I'm going to tell you that you're not supposed to write them because they may not get read by the seller. Now, if your buyer gives you one to deliver, you can give it. To my understanding.
Mike says it's discriminatory.
Yes, correct. I called him last night and I said, what am I supposed to say here? And he said he presents them after he presents the offers. But he essentially said, like, if someone gives it to you,
You have to pass.
you have to pass it on. But stay away from crafting them.
Yeah, he said, don't recommend it, don't
Yeah.
tell them what to write, but if they write it on their own and give it to you, because I ran into this. And that.
Yep.
Like, then you have to pass it on, otherwise you're lying to your clients.
Yeah.
And he's like, but as a realtor, I don't give them to my clients to be honest with you until after they choose.
Yeah.
He said, if the person we choose wrote a letter, then I'll be like, and here's a lovely letter to let you know who this amazing couple that's moving into your house, or whatever. He said, but otherwise, you're basically asking them to choose based on,
Familial
is it family?
status.
Is it
Yeah.
someone of the same origin as you? Do they have the same needs as you? And that,
Are they looking for a church that you go to?
right?
Then it gets strange.
I got in trouble for that with one of my very first clients. Because I wasn't, I said, hey, you want this love letter? And I put it in, but they had put their picture
Oh, yep.
on there with their dog, they had their dog and the picture of them, and I got a little trouble for that, but I was a brand new agent, so this is. Just happened to be the listing agent, worked at Spar.
Ooh, nice. Yikes.
Was really nice.
Yeah,
Really
yeah.
nice of that, but, I got an education. On a phone call.
And it was free.
Yeah.
Yes. That's the best kind of education, free education. Okay, so it's essentially liability. If you have questions about it more specifically or whatnot, talk to Mike. Don't talk to me. Supposed to ask for ahas. I'm assuming nothing much so far. Okay, so this is why we're here is getting that signed agreement, buyer's agreement. Now, I know that we've talked a little bit about some folks that haven't gotten it right away when they go out and look at houses. You meet them out at the home and so on. When I'm meeting someone at the home, if I'm prepared, I will have it with me and I will ask them to sign it there. And a lot of the conversation, what was your name again? Sam. I said, Sam, it's so great to see you again here at the house. Super excited to show you this. I heard that they have a pool table in the basement that's made out of gold. Super excited to take a look. Say, before we do that, I've got a couple of forms that I need to get signed since it's kind of liability for us to be going into different homes and so on and so forth. Do you have a moment to just run through this? So again, make there's a reason, just let them know that we have to get it done. Just don't, the worst way would be, hey, Sam, great to see you. Thank you so much for coming out to this house. Before we go in, I think we could maybe take a couple minutes and I want to run through this form. Can you sign it for me? But they're just not gonna do it. Like they're gonna ask a whole bunch of questions. But so again, it comes in with that confidence. So when you're sitting, let's say you're sitting at the hold on, sorry. Okay. So they don't show me, okay, the slides. Okay, so when you're getting that form, so now you've gone through the whole consultation, you've talked to them, you're gonna have the buyer's representation form, as well as your, oh my goodness. Agency? Thank you, yes. I'm a real estate agent.
I thought you were gonna say, I'm a mess.
Yeah. And so, one of the things that I talk about when I'm going for the forms, I don't go for buyer's representation right away. what I will do is I will say, hey, Raymond, so glad that we're able to go through everything today. I want to share with you two of the forms that we have to get signed here before we jump to our next steps. My first one, I'm just gonna be a nerd and say it, I love it. It's my favorite one, it's called Agents. Flip it over to the back, and I say, my favorite part about this is actually old car. They're gonna be like, "What's old car," right? Obedience, loyalty, disclosure, confidentiality, accountability, reasonable care, and yeah. Thank you.
You said old car, but then you went in the order of the
Yeah,
agency.
yep, thank you.
Disclosure.
So, and so I say, like, I'm really excited to know that I'm going to give this to you. Because giving this to you, which is old car, will give you the best experience possible. And so I talk about that and I talk about all the things that I'm going to give to you. And this is kind of a contract between you and I, as a person, I didn't start giving this to you, of course, but I just want to let you know this is something that we as real estate agents do. This is what we're held to. This is what our standards are. So I get them to decide that one, and then we move into the buyer's consultation. Moving through where the representation. So I find that it's kind of like when I think I mentioned this a while back, is sometimes when you're scared to jump on the phone, or you just don't want to jump on the phone and start your 20 guy or whatever else. Call up your aunt, call up your mom, call up your best friend, call up somebody, say, hey, Scott, I was just thinking about you this morning. Hope you're having a fantastic day. I gotta get going actually, but I just wanted to say hi. So it gives you a good feeling. It creates a little bit of endorphins. You're probably gonna say, hey man, you have a good day too. And then you get off the phone and you keep going. So that agency form to me is kind of a hype up, a little bit of a hype, like, okay, I love that I can give this to you, Scott, that I followed this old car. And that's what this form is about, and that's what solidifies how I'm going to work best for you.
So
And then I can roll into the buyers.
you take that with you in the first meeting?
Yes. Yep. Yeah, so if we're sitting in that conference room after we've gone over the process and we've gone over what you want in a home and all of those kinds of things, I say, great. Here's a couple of forms that I want you to sign. That we're gonna need to sign quick before we jump out and take a look at the home and check out the next steps. So, what I want you guys to do before we jump into this, I want to insert a quick role play. If you guys want to turn around and how about we all close and ask for the agreement? And then if they object, let's try one or two objections. And ask questions. So, jump in and ask for the consultant or ask for the agreement, the purchase. Oh my goodness. I need more.
What's happening?
Yes. Jump in and start to ask the buyer.
Oh, I don't.
I like the way Hey, what? You were talking to me. Oh. Yeah.
What are we doing?
Was very hard.
Yes, hey Stephanie, it's super great to learn about what kind of things you want. Certainly not that you can kind of do it for you.
That's
If you want, I'll be able to go. It's not something like it's still, I did.
Like, my daughter, like, that's the best way to aid. Do what I want, like. Big month. To get everything done, and figure out like, what I need, you know, understand like, so, yeah. I just wanna just say, you know, you have to- over the computer, Great. You know what I mean? Like what she's saying. Her perspective. You know, it's their work religious. It's with- they all- they represent- So it's
But. And I tried to communicate.
Yeah, no, you can give them that much more than that. Yeah, it's just. Absolutely. A lot of people, they're like, oh. I'm like, this is me. They're not really the person you. And that's what we like.
You don't think, yeah, you think.
Right.
Yeah. You did hear.
Yeah, great beginning. Last night.
Yeah.
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 Let them know what they think. And see what really has been done.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if we can get a meeting, right, because I want to do 2 weeks less.
Sure.
But if we can get 1 week.
Yeah. I mean, your buyer should be fine, just like have them close and not move. Who cares?
That's the thing, it shouldn't be a big deal.
Yeah.
He's like nervous. He doesn't
Yeah.
like-
Mine. Sure.
Will work. Very sheltered. They gave him a minute and I gives him. So he was kind of like, very sheltered, really, one that thought that he had to pay out money and energy to- Yeah. But that you can just like, hang on.
Yeah,
It's been a process.
there you go. Yeah, no, totally. Okay, so we'll jump back really quick here. We're gonna finish up in probably about 5 minutes or so. Yeah, whoops, Daisy. About today's scripting, anything about the class? Any questions, concerns, comments, notes?
I do like the giving, two options.
Yeah.
For the appointment.
Yeah.
Instead of, I think when you're saying like, when are you available? So I'm like, from like, computer, that's like, yeah, I do, I mean, things, check my calendar. I do that. But if you just think, specific things, it's like, yeah, that's all, you know.
Yeah.
There is more.
Well, that's. Just for me personally, if somebody needs to be open, I'm like, well, I don't.
Right.
You know, but if you're specific
Oh.
and you're like, oh, well, you know, when can you meet are these two, then I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, it's much better, then I can. like, hold it in, right?
Yeah.
It's like, me, part of wanting to be real estate is that I can attend my kids' sports and I can do that. Now, it means that like after my kids pass away, I might be running up to an old house or going to do a showing and stuff like that. But like, that's why I like kind of two options, like you're not telling them, oh, that's. That's, like, gave me options, that you don't need to know what else I'm doing.
Oh, and you can say,
Be time for them, if they're not, you're not saying like, oh, that is for. I was just telling sports.
Yeah, I have an appointment at that time, but I can meet at these other times. Yeah, where it's like, oh, I have family, so no, I have an appointment. I have friends.
Yeah.
And then it also makes them. So you are.
Right, they have no idea what it is.
Yeah.
I want to use the phrase, I'll go. I'll say, hey, let's, really quick, let's set an appointment, for next week, I'm gonna play calendar.
It's gonna be like. Yeah. But you think like.
That's
Like.
exactly, yeah. I think- Maybe. Yeah. Wait.
Well, could you also, with like, could you be, well, because some people are going to also change and look at their schedule to, like, if you have two. particular
Oh, yeah.
days, Could you make that?
If they suggest something outside of, so, hey, I've got Tuesday and Thursday.
What about Friday?
Friday, ooh, you know, let me see if I can move a couple of things for us. I would love to meet on Friday. I could probably move something for 3 o'clock. Would that work?
Oh, I guess now.
And then say, okay, let me put it on the calendar. I will call you if I can't make it.
I like that. Makes me think they're a priority, like you're shifting things.
I just moved everything around, you know, because now I'm gonna eat cookies and milk later in the afternoon. And I'm gonna not watch cartoons as late.
My shirt's here.
Exactly. So, again, it's the, what do you call it, perception of what you're doing. If you called someone and said, hey, Scott, I know we talked about some houses. And, gosh, I haven't had a paycheck in a long time, and I've got a lot of time next week. If you want to chat about houses, I've got like 4 hours on Friday. Could you meet, please?
Yeah, it's like,
Please,
you know what, like,
I can come to you. I mean, like, please. Yeah. So, and I'll bring the lender, yeah.
I think sometimes why that takeaway can be really powerful, because it makes you seem, you know, sometimes when people do give you the pushback. Oh, that's okay, I understand, maybe there'll be another time, you know, I find that was a helpful.
Yeah.
Is it- Okay, this guy's not desperate, he's letting me off the hook, right?
Yeah. So any other ahas about setting the appointment or any objections that maybe you couldn't handle or any questions about objections?
Well, this gave me like a really good one, so I have a couple I met while doing a different open house and walking around the neighborhood. And I ended up running into them, walking the dog, and then I was shifting around with their house and talked to the wife, and then chatting with them again after and stuff, and they didn't give me any of the information, but through Michelle uses, I had never heard of this either till she told me this. Melissa, I've never heard of it either, fastpeoplesearch.com, yes. So if you know their address, their phone number, or their name, you can get their email and phone number and address and everything else. So I took a picture of the house as I drove away after we get my sign, so I had their address. Then I used Fast People Search and got both their names and their address and their emails and their phone numbers and reached out.
Yeah.
Now we've been communicating for 2 months. They want to eventually sell their house, move into a condo or townhome, not their kids are all grown, but every single time I talk to them, it's like, yeah, we're just not quite ready. We haven't got that busiest month. And I went to a different open house less than a mile from their house in Centerville this last week, and she was like, why didn't you say, hey, I'm coming to an open house, maybe right by your house, why don't I stop by after? And I was like, damn it, that's such a missed opportunity, like,
Have
you
you
know,
done that, like, have you sent them a condo, just a random condo?
no,
Like, I would say, do they want to be in Minneapolis or St. Paul?
they didn't say, they just said that now, they were the original model home for the neighborhood,
Okay,
like 35 years ago. And now they're like, well, you know, we're getting older, well, supposed to retire in the next years, we don't really want to do yard work, this house is too big for us.
definitely.
But that's all they really shared, so I don't know.
I would maybe give a call or shoot, like I did with that text message, shoot a text message or something and say, hey, I remember you guys mentioning something about a condo. I saw something that has a
Okay,
couple
yeah.
of amenities that I thought you would like,
I like that, because it'll motivate them if they like it, they'll be like, oh god, wouldn't that be awesome to live there?
and they don't know what the amenities are. Could be a
Right.
movie theater and basketball court, or it could be in bedroom washer and dryer.
Yeah.
Could be beneficial, so.
Down on St. Paul, they have a lot of really great amenities,
Yep.
and they've got, they're all one level condos. So no,
Oh, yeah.
no two level condos, one level condos,
Right.
and it's like, they've got like 30 some floors, but it's all, they've got 3 big elevators, they've got a freight elevator, so basically moving easy. And they've got private parking right for all the people that live there, and then on-site security.
So what you're doing is you're essentially creating the value yourself and then delivering it to them. You're not asking them what value they bring, you're saying like, look, here's some value.
No, it's a good point, because it's been 2 months and we keep going back and forth, and they're very sweet, but we haven't
Here's
gotten
value, and
anywhere.
if they bite on, and pull them in and say, okay, great, let's go take a look. I've got time on Tuesday for a quick 15-minute meeting at the office before we go and take a look.
I like that.
Any other questions, thoughts, concerns, ideas, objections?
What we're talking about, you get to the buyer's contract.
Mhm.
I learned this from Travis, but a lot of times he'll go right to the other section of the buyer's contract. Says, I just like letting know people right from the start that this contract can be
Cancel.
canceled at any time. You know, he writes that in first by written statement, I think that's what he writes that.
Yeah.
And it seems to, I don't know, just diffuses,
Totally.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's like kind of.
It's kind of like if you went to a car, if you went to go buy a car and right off the bat, the guy says, hey, Scott, I know you're here to buy a car. Listen, you can take any of the cars off the lot and you can bring it back to tonight if you don't like it. Like that would make car buying so much easier, you know? So again, it's just implying and showing like we have an option. This isn't, we're gonna date for complete, we're not gonna get married for the rest of our life. One of the other things you had talked about the buyer's representation form. I would highly recommend when you're super bored and have lots of time, read through the whole entire thing. And one of the things I have found beneficial is find 1 or 2 phrases or 1 or 2 things that you like within the buyer's representation form that you can point at. Say, oh, Scott, you know, I just want to leave down to number 37, line 37, this. I think that's really important. You know, and Travis is doing the same thing when he talks about how big he can. I do it the same thing with the agents. I want to just flip this over really quick and show you the whole part. So find something, because then it again gives the perception, and you may or may not actually know the whole form. But it gives you the perception that you understand that whole entire thing. And we're supposed to. So. But again, it's same thing with the house, when you're showing the house. Have some reason, something that you think is really cool about the house that you can show them. Lead them into the house and say, oh, come on downstairs, I want to show you this really cool. Water filtration system, I've seen this in like my house. Bring value, bring something unique that somebody else might not like that. If we don't have any other questions, we can leave. If you do, we can stay. Okay. Sounds good. Well, thank you so much, guys, for coming to my presentation. That was-
Did an okay job. I promise.
You perfect.
You close it at 11:11.
11:11. There you go. There you go. Perfect.
Really like the interactive. Things that I like when people are like interacting with us, so like I feel like I.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So I'm appreciative also. You bring up so many good things that we have to do. Right. Thank you, I truly appreciate it.
Yes. Welcome.
I love that you've been in class with us.
Oh.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's something about when the person who's teaching with us has been also in the class and like. I like that.
Yeah, and I can tell because you pointed out our page numbers there
Oh,
all the time.
Yeah.
They are not the teacher's guide and this are quite.
They're very off.
They are.
Like 3/4 of what I talked about there's nothing in your book.
Yeah, so when you see people going, like,
Yeah. Yeah. Totally.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Well done. We're not gonna tell you.
And if you guys didn't bring lunch, please keep going for lunch.
All right.
Yeah. You.
Oh, yeah. When you're talking-
That's okay.
You have a box.
My buyer kind of.
Now,
Like it
like,
was
because a box.
So they're
Well,
not.
here's-
There's people selling a home.
I made that.
But I have to read.
Yeah, especially when it's like.
You're back.
Like, obviously, she did it all the way.
Oh.
Celebrate.
Oh, sorry. Why would you?